computer. So I'll share this screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Today is the connectivity because this voices, I'm getting broken voices. Now you can see?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Last time we started with that glycosides. From there we have to take up these glycosides, disaccharides. Disaccharides are nothing but the glycosides or monosaccharides. That means here how glycoside is formed. We have seen glycosides can be of two types. One is O-glycoside and N-glycoside. O-glycosides are formed by when we treat a monosaccharide or any disaccharide having an anomeric OH group free. When it is treated with alcohol, that anomeric OH, which is also the hemiacetal OH, you can say in fundamental chemistry, but that will react with the alcohol to give you a glycoside. And we have discussed some properties of glycosides. Now, the disaccharides are formed in the same way as the glycoside of one monosaccharide. So, but once the glycoside is there, it has to be it can be either alpha or beta, depending on what is the anomeric, what was the position of the anomeric. So, we had discussed all these points. Now, these are three important glycosides, disaccharides which are there, which we will be discussing. At least the structure of these two we'll discuss. The third one you can read on your own because it is very similar to the first one. Number one is maltose. Second one is sucrose, and third one is lactose. Maltose is important in the sense that this is one of the byproduct, one of the metabolic product, or this first metabolic product of starch that we take. The partial hydrolysis gives you, which is made up of glucose and glucose. Now, if you see the structure, it is glucose C1, that is the anomeric OH C1 is linked to the C4 of the second glucose. So glucose, one glucose, another glucose, C1 glucose, second glucose. Now in the second glucose, the C4 is bonded to C1 of the first one. But so here what happens, the C1 is free. Once the C1 is free, you know C1 carbon is the anomeric carbon and that will have its anomeric OH group. So once the anomeric OH group is here, that means it can also come back to its open chain form, this part of the molecule, not here. And as a result, we can have the aldehyde group here. Once we have the aldehyde group, it will have all the reactions due to aldehyde, that means reduction, formation of oxime, formation of phenyl hydrazone, and osazone, etc. And also at the same time, this type of molecule will give beta rotation because this C1 can exist in alpha or beta. So we can have two maltose, one is alpha maltose, another is beta maltose. But when we come to sucrose, sucrose is nothing but our common sugar, the table sugar that we take every day. And people are fond of sugar, but sugar at the same time is very unhealthy food, at least in modern time, because our lifestyle has changed. Modern lifestyle has changed. We are more sedentary lifestyle we are having. We sit at home and work, or sit inside the room and work. We don't work in field. We don't run. We don't go out. So this is what. So there is less demand of sugar. So as a result, this is going to create some other health issues. I'm not going into that. But when we see its structure, what happens? What we say, a disaccharide is a glycoside of one monosaccharide. But here, the glycoside, it is formed from glucose and fructose, combination of glucose and fructose. Now, glycoside, which one then? Here in this case, it is a glycoside of glucose. At the same time, it is a glycoside of fructose because Here, the C1 anomeric OH group of glucose through alpha glycosidic is linked to the anomeric OH of fructose through beta glycosidic conjugate. That means both the anomeric OH groups are condensed here. It is following the same rule of glycoside formation, but in this case, here one was the glycoside. This is what is behaving as alcohol. But here this is anomeric OH group. This is also anomeric OH group. But once the anomeric OH group means we have to specify whether it is alpha or beta. Here it is found to be alpha. Here it is found to be beta. Okay, we'll have to establish that. And lactose is, on the other hand, it is a it is a glycoside of galactose. So what happens here? The galactose, the anomeric OH group of galactose is your C1 will be linked to C4 of glucose. And the glycosidic bond is through galactose, and that is found to be beta glycosidic. And C4 means C4 is got a specific position. So this group, glucose is acting as an alcohol, and this is acting as a sugar. So here also we have got C1 is free. Now, we have to establish this structure. We cannot just accept it like this. Next, when we see salient feature of all these structures, if we see, maltose is thus an alpha glucoside linked to C4 of second glucose, whose anomeric OH group is free. So we can see the structure of maltose like this. This is the glucose. Alpha glucose is this one. This OH group is the alpha linkage is linked to C4 of the second glucose. But in the second glucose, this anomeric OH group is free. So I am writing here H and OH by this side. So it will have both exist as alpha and beta. So we'll have two forms of maltose, alpha maltose and beta maltose. But when we come to sucrose, sucrose is this one. This is glucose. C1 of this glucose is linked to C4 of fructose. C2 of fructose. And C1 of glucose is through alpha glycosidic linkage, and C2 of fructose through beta glycosidic linkage. So here both the anomeric OH groups are blocked. So no anomeric OH group is free. So it cannot have its open chain structural form, that is no aldehydic or ketonic group available. As a result, this is going to be non-reducing, and other relevant properties will be like this. Okay, we'll come to this name also later on. Let us see the third one. The third one is lactose, where this is galactose. This is galactose. C1 of galactose is linked to C4 of glucose. This is glucose. Galactose and glucose, the difference is that C4, this is C4, the OH group is on the top. In glucose, it was at the bottom. Now here, this is beta glycosides. So beta OH group is linked to C4. C4 glucose is at the bottom. So this linkage, we are showing it like this through this corner. And maltose, it was through this one, alpha, and this is beta. So it is a beta glycoside. Hello? Yes? Oh, oh. अच्छा रबो मैं तो ये अच्छा just hello রবো मैं এটা কাম করি আসলে তো অলপ আপনি কোথা আছে ওহো এই গ্লোবাল হসপিটাল দি আহক না পিছফালে কি একদম মানে Hello, do you get my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry for that disturbance because sometimes this happens. Okay, I'm just sharing again. So here, this is what is there. Now you see, the names here, these are common names that we have seen here. These are common names. That means sucrose, maltose, lactose, these are. But what is the scientific name? So for maltose, this is a we can name it as a derivative of this glucose. This is a glucose. Now to this, so this is a D-glucopyranose. Okay, to this D-glucopyranose, what is linked at carbon number 4? There is an alpha D-glucopyranosyl. Suppose it was methyl, we would have said methyl 4-methyl D-glucopyranose or 4-O-methyl D-glucopyranose. But here, what is the link to C4? It is your 4-alpha D-glucopyranosyl group. That is how we name it. In case of sucrose, here, because sucrose we can consider it to be they are the glycoside, both of either alpha or beta. For that of glucose or fructose. So what we can say, it is a alpha glucopyranoside. So it is beta D fructofuranosyl, alpha D glucopyranoside. Or other way also we can take alpha D glucopyranosyl D-glucofuranoside. That means we are talking about D-glucofuranoside. And what is the linkage? Linkage is that of the glucopyranosyl, but that is through alpha glycosidic form. Here, lactose, it is a derivative of D-glucopyranose. This is your D-glucopyranose, where the carbon number 4 is linked to 4-beta D-galactopyranosyl, D-glucopyranose. So that way we can name it. Okay. All right. So you will understand once you read it, you will understand, you can connect this one better with. Let us come back to structures of, at least we'll take one of them, that is maltose first. Structure of maltose. Already we have seen the structure. I have intentionally given the structure at the beginning so that when we elaborate, when we elucidate the structure, you understand the different points. Number one, it is the source of maltose. Why do you get maltose? Maltose is present in germinating seeds, especially cereals. Germinating seeds, that means seeds which are germinating. So if you have cereals which are there, if you get these sprouts, grow these sprouts, the sprouts will have a lot of maltose there, produced by hydrolysis. And how do we get otherwise? Produced by hydrolysis of starch with enzyme diastase or beta amylase. So these are the enzymes which can produce maltose from starch, or by partial hydrolysis of acid. Hydrolysis of starch by partial hydrolysis of acid. Now acid, starch, if we do complete hydrolysis, we'll get glucose. Partial hydrolysis means maltose stage it will stop, but that is very difficult. With acid it is very difficult, but for enzyme, with enzymes it will just come to maltose stage. So here, when you are taking starch, as it goes to our mouth and we are chewing it, as chewing, or the saliva and has got this enzyme, beta amylase enzyme. So that is going to convert this starch into maltose. So in our mouth, it is converted into maltose. That is why you are advised to chew your food properly. So that this is first stage of your digestion. After that, it goes down the tract, and then it gets converted into glucose. That maltose converts into glucose. So, and then it is absorbed by the body. And absorption of this food material is your digestion. First stage of metabolism is digestion, because body has to accept it. Okay. Then comes its structure. We have to see its structure. First stage of structure is step of structural elucidation is to find out its molecular formula. So molecular formula is found to be C12H22O11. How do we get it? By obtained by elemental analysis, percentage composition, and molecular weight determination. So this is how we get this. Then comes it undergoes the following reaction. So several reactions are carried out, and let us see what are the reactions. So this reaction is this maltose. First we do hydrolysis with acid, we get 2-glucose. So this will give an information, that means maltose is made up of 2 units of glucose or 2 equivalents of glucose. Then comes it reduces Fehling solution and tolerance reagent. So this is one information we get. It forms osazone. You know what type of molecule will form osazone. We get another. Oxidized by bromine water to monocarboxylic acid, which is known as maltobionic acid, with same number of carbon atoms. That means what? This one is going to give us an information about that there is an aldehyde present and which get oxidized by bromine water to give you a monocarboxylic acid having the same number of carbon atom. That means an aldehyde only oxidized to acid where the molecule don't break up into 2 parts. It remains in the 1 part. So it is something like that of glucose. When you oxidize with bromine water, you get gluconic acid. And how do you get it? We know it. So some information we get from here. Then another reaction, acetic anhydride sodium acetate gives you maltose octaacetate. If we treat this one with dimethyl sulfate sodium hydroxide, we get octa-O-methyl maltose. So this one shows that maltose contain 8 free OH groups. So this is another information. So if we combine all the information, so what we are getting? Another information. Third position. Maltose exists in 2 anomeric forms and undergo mutarotation, showing the following result. So we have got 2 maltose. One is alpha maltose, whose specific rotation is plus 68, and another is beta maltose, whose specific rotation is 112 plus 112, and undergo mutarotation means in solution the specific rotation changes. For alpha maltose, 168 comes down to 136. For beta maltose, specific rotation goes up and becomes steady at 136. Same thing we have seen with glucose, but here it is with maltose. I think we have also done this problem related to this change. So here, this is the phenomenon of mutarotation. Okay. So if we combine all the information, then what are the different information that we have got? One is all the above observations suggest that maltose is, number 1, made up of 2 glucose units. This is first information we are getting. Second one, it is a reducing sugar. Already we have seen the reaction where that it reduces Fehling solution, tolerance reagent, and also undergoes. So this is a reducing sugar, and it has got 8 free OH groups. This is there. And number 4, contain one free carbonyl group which exists as cyclic hemiacetal form. So this is the information that we are going to get. Why we cyclic hemiacetal form? Because it exists in the cyclic acetal form. That is where we are going to have two types of maltose. That means two anomeric forms of glucose, alpha maltose and beta maltose. So when we combine this information, so what we get next? I think you are not having any problem of getting my getting what I am going to tell. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or am I very fast? Okay, let us come here. Now, after that, what we have to see the connectivity between the glucose. So here, in the previous case, what we have got, we have seen that there are two glucose units. This is what is established. One of the glucose unit is having one free aldehyde group. The other one we don't know. At least one is having free aldehyde group. That is why all these properties we see. Now, let us see how these two glucose units are connected to one another. So for this, one reaction is carried out, series of reaction. We take up this reaction, that is, we take maltose, react with bromine water. What bromine water is going to do? Oxidize it, and we get an acid. That acid is known as maltobionic acid. This is the acid, maltobionic acid. Then this one is treated, this maltobionic acid is then treated with dimethyl sulfate in presence of sodium hydroxide. And that one going to give us, that is going to give us this octa-O-methyl maltobionic acid. So what is the role of dimethyl sulfate here? What it is going to do? Tell me. Yes? Tell me, what is the role of dimethyl sulfate? Huh? Hello. What is the role of dimethyl sulfate?
Sir, OH to OCH3 লিখে convert করবে।
It will all the free OH group, whatever free OH groups are there, that will be methylated. The OH will become O-methyl, and that is so. Dimethyl sulfate is a methylating agent. Okay, we'll see some mechanism of that one. Now here we have got here, this is maltobionic acid obtained from maltose. That means in the maltose, whatever aldehyde group that we had got converted into acid. That acid group is not affected. All the OH group which are there otherwise present will become methylated. After that, we do hydrolysis. Which point the hydrolysis will take place? Which point of the molecule the hydrolysis is going to take place? Is a mild hydrolysis. Where the hydrolysis is going to take place? Hydrolysis? Okay, let me just see here. So hydrolysis is going to, suppose here this is maltose. Your maltose is formed from two glucose. So glucose 1, suppose glucose, this is glucose, is bonded to another glucose, second glucose. but the second glucose has got some aldehydic group will be there in the glucose, so that one got converted into an acid. So this, there will be an oxygen bridge here, and this one glucon as some acidic group will be here, COH. And this glucose will have so many OH group which will be there, which will be converted into O-methyl. Here also the glucose which will be there will be O-methyl. So there is a free COH group. Now you are going to do hydrolysis here. Now if you do hydrolysis, which is the point of hydrolysis? Is going to give us these two splitted into these two parts. Which one? It is this part where this hydrolysis will take place, here or here, anywhere. This is the position where these two glucose units are connected. After hydrolysis, what is going to happen here? What is the resulting group that is going to come? Hydrolysis means what? Breaking with water, HOH. So if it breaks up here, H this side and another OH will come this side. That means there will be a free OH group here. This one also will have a free OH group here. And those ones which are already got methylated, they will have methyl group. So what we are getting? We are getting here, one is 2,3,4,6 tetraomethyl D-glucopyranose. This is the first molecule. And the second molecule is 2,3,5,6 tetraomethyl gluconic acid, because the one part which got converted into acid, that is coming as an acid. This will come as an acid. So what is going to be the structure? Just see the structure. So this will be this is 2, 3, 4, and 6. O-methyl D-glucopyranose. That means here we find this OH group has appeared here. Which one? Because it is C1, it can be either alpha or it can be beta. So that we are not writing. We are writing just on the side. And the other one molecule will be 2, 3, 5, 6 O-methyl D-gluconic acid. So this acidic group will be there in the carbon number 1. And the other groups are 2 O-methyl, 3 O-methyl, 5 O-methyl, and 6 O-methyl. What about 4? 4 has become OH. That means what? What is the conclusion from here? Somebody tell me what is the conclusion from here?
4 position OH group is present, free OH group.
Is present where?
4 position.
Correct. 4 position where? Where present means what?
No, sir. That
2, 3, 5, 6.
glycosidic that bond is between 1 and the 4. One of these pyranose and 4 of this.
You see here, what is happening in this series of reactions? First one, say maltose. You are converted into an acid, maltobionic acid. The aldehydic group which was free is getting converted into acid. The other, all the free OH group which are there will be converted into O-methyl. After that you hydrolyze. Hydrolysis will take place where the joining between two was there. Glucose 1 glucose is linked to the second glucose. And this is COH group free. So the hydrolysis is going to take place here. OH. So here we'll have one OH group here, another free OH group will be here. Free OH group here. That means where the free OH group we are getting, here we are getting one free OH group at C1, another here we are getting at C4, the free OH group. That means the linkage between two glucose is one at C1, the other one at C4.
C4.
Yes.
C1 and C4 linkage. That is the conclusion that we get. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Hello? This is the
Yes.
conclusion. So we go. The free OH group that we see here, free OH group at C1 and C4 of these two compounds show that C1 of one glucose is linked to C4 of second glucose. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, but again, C1 being anomeric carbon, because it is anomeric carbon, so maltose is a glycoside of glucose. So these are the information that we get from here. So linkage between two glucose is between C1 of one glucose, C2 of second glucose. Now, because it is now anomeric carbon, means it is a glycoside, we have to know which glycoside. That means whether it is an alpha glycoside or a beta glycoside. Any idea how do we get this information, whether the glycoside is going to be alpha or beta? What is the method of determination of getting that information? Anybody?
OH group is
2 and 1.
Huh? Anybody? Some idea?
So by anomeric effect.
Anomeric effect, how do you get this? Now we have to be sure whether it is an alpha glycosidic linkage or it is a beta glycosidic linkage. That one we have to be sure. So how do we know it? Anomeric effect, how it is going to help. Anybody else?
1,2 or 1,4 glycosidic linkage.
Are Baba, it is already, we have established that it is C1 to C4. C4 through this oxygen bridge will be there. But C1 being anomeric, this is the anomeric carbon, whether this C1 is going to be through alpha or through beta. That is the question. That means glycosidic. Huh? What we have to do so that we know it is alpha or beta. Huh? Anybody? We have to now establish whether it is going to be alpha glycoside or a beta glycoside. Anyone having, okay, you may not know it, just whether if you know, you tell me, otherwise, okay, we proceed.
Number 1 carbon, whether it beta.
Yes.
OH, position of OH group.
Position of OH group will be there, but then whether it is alpha or beta, how do you, because it is a natural compound, we cannot invent our own maltose. Maltose is natural, so we have to know its natural connection, no?
Sir, to link with the C4,
okay.
Then it has to be alpha.
How? Why not beta?
Sir, because in C4 the OH in the at downside.
Oh,
so
no. Remember, that is not a point. Here that downside is an upside. We are writing a projection structure. This is also not our real structure. So that way you cannot decide.
Yes.
Now
yes,
here,
sir.
you see here. Okay. Let me come to this actual point. Now here we have to depend on, because what these glycosides are going to, if we hydrolyze glycoside, we get back our 2 monosaccharides, right? Huh? Now, if we do hydrolysis with acid we can do hydrolysis. Any other method by which we can do hydrolysis? Second is enzyme. We can do hydrolysis by using enzyme. We can do hydrolysis by using water, acid. Now, acid is a catalyst which cannot recognize whether it is alpha or beta. It will attack all. If there is alpha glycosidic bond, it will attack. If it is beta, because acid proton has to go and protonate, no, and then hydrolysis will take place. So it cannot recognize whether it is alpha beta. So it will hydrolyze both alpha and beta. But enzymes are very, very specific. Some enzyme which will hydrolyze alpha glycoside, alpha glucoside cannot hydrolyze beta glucoside. So we have to choose a specific enzyme which is going to, we have to test with alpha glycosidase, because this enzyme's name will be something like that, alpha glycosidase, and also we have to test with beta glycosidase. Or we have to take a known enzyme which is going to be hydrolyzed, which is going to, we know that it is going to hydrolyze alpha or it is going to hydrolyze beta. And then test it with maltose. And if we see that maltose has given the 2-glucose after hydrolysis, then it is this one. So it is the enzyme only which can give you the result. So we cannot do it with anything else. We cannot do it by any other chemical method. So we have to depend on this biological method. Okay. So so we have to go this one. So maltose is hydrolyzed by maltase, this enzyme. And maltase is known to enzyme which can hydrolyze alpha glycoside only. You see, maltase is known to hydrolyze only alpha glycoside and not by emulsin. Emulsin is an enzyme which hydrolyzes beta glycoside. So because it is not hydrolyzed by emulsin, only by maltase, so this linkage is only alpha linkage. So that is the point. That information we have to accept to know whether which is the glycosidic linkage. Now, after that, we have our structure ready. Now it is ready. Therefore, the structure of maltose can be given as this one. So we have come to know to this structure, that is 1-glucose. This is 1-glucose linked to the second glucose, C1 of this one linked to the C4 of the second one, and this one, because C1 is here, it is what is called glycosidic bond. Whether the glycosidic bond is going to be alpha or beta, we have established through this enzymatic hydrolysis, and it is found to get hydrolyzed only by alpha glycosidase. Here this is maltase. So we know that it is an alpha linkage, and C4 the position is always down, so we cannot do anything here. So that one is there. But here in this part of the glucose, so here we have got, this is a free anomeric OH group, so it can be alpha or it can be beta, and we can have all the related properties. So what is the name of this one? 4-alpha D-glucopyranosyl D-glucopyranose. So this is your D-glucopyranose. To this, at the 4-carbon atom, what is the linkage given? Alpha D-glucopyranosyl. This is your group of alpha D-glucopyranosyl group attached to carbon number 4. So that is how the name has been given. Okay, next one. Now, since one of the glucose unit has an anomeric carbon, since one of the glucose unit has its anomeric carbon free, it will be in equilibrium with the octane chain form in this unit and will show reduction properties, reducing properties, and relevant properties. That means we can have, it will be reducing in nature, it can react with phenylhydrazine to form osazone, it will react with other, say, NH2OH, etc., etc. And will exist in 2 anomeric forms. So maltose, we have got alpha maltose and beta maltose. Two maltose will be there. So what are the structures? So this will be your beta maltose. You see here. This is the beta maltose structure. This one is free and this one is permanent. This is alpha. This glucose is linked to other glucose through alpha glycosidic linkage. C4 is fixed position, but C1 here, this will be OH when it is on the top, that is beta, and when it is at the bottom, that is going to be alpha. But when in solution, that means what? We know meter rotation, so beta maltose will be converted. हेलो आपने दियक ना तलत दियक ओके कॉक्सन एज के करीब अच्छा এতিয়া নহয় মই অলপ পিছত ফোন কৰি আছো ৰব sorry okay this one is so it is going to show this it will be in equilibrium with this open chain form also you see here this is going to be now you see here oh, this is now you see here this is the beta form and this is your alpha form. This alpha form and beta form in solution will be interconvertible, but it will go through this open chain form because open chain here, this part will become open chain, not this one. This will remain as closed ring. It's not going to open, but it is this form which will be there. So in one case, it will become alpha. In another case, it will become beta. Okay, we have to stop here because what is your next class? Hello? Hello?
Sir, Durlab, sir.
Okay. So let us come back. I stopped sharing. Okay, let us come back to this. Okay, today a lot of disturbance came in between. I'm sorry for that. So I find this number is not increasing. It's becoming 34, 35. Today there were 34 or 33, 34 participants. The number is not increasing. What is the reason? What about the others? They are not and they are not attending at all. Okay, so with this, I end up here. We'll have some recapitulation next time. And I end the class. You attend the next one. Okay, all the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.